10-4. Yeah, you're good, man. I gotta do the intro and all that anyway. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV with the Area 51 Super Speedway Gen 4 Super Speedway Series, and we are back. As I had obviously a little bit of time off. There was so much going on for everybody in the league. I think everybody was ready for that little bit of a breather, but we're going to be going after it pretty aggressively here. We've got pretty much, I believe, 12 straight weeks starting tonight. At Daytona, followed up will be at iRacing at Super Speedway, Atlanta, Talladega, and then kind of rinse and repeat will be those 4 tracks 3 times each, 8 regular season, 4 playoff races. Drivers putting down their qualifying laps as we speak. So again, glad to be back. Glad to have all of you back watching. Again, apologies for the broadcast hiccup there. I had to recreate the stream because it wasn't showing up, so I was a little nervous about that. So I went ahead and recreated that. So we're back in action here. We will be again great car count tonight as well. I think we're in the mid 20s at the lowest, I want to say. But yeah, so again, want to thank everybody for coming back out and joining us here for the broadcast and with the league. And yeah, so the big change tonight though, it's going to be the new cars though. We're going to be, so you'll see they're going to be looking very different here because we're running the Gen 4 Cup ARCA car, whatever one you want to call it. And it's really fun. There's a lot of options you'll see for manufacturers and kind of what nose and grill and bumper stickers you want on the back for the lights. So yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun to see what these guys have in store for us this evening and all season long. I'll say again, just shows how enjoyable the originality of the paint schemes are. It kind of lets some of those guys work their magic. So hope you all had a good break. Again, also definitely want to give all of our love to everybody out in the southeast affected by the hurricane. It's obviously been hitting a lot of places: Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, the Carolinas, just to name a few. I know, obviously, Matt, I know you're kind of caught in the middle of some of that as well. And I know we do have, unfortunately, Frank Ranger doesn't have any power due to his storm, so he's not here tonight because of it. So definitely hoping that Frank and of course all of you that are without power get it back as soon as possible. But I know obviously a lot to happen here in a short amount of time. So hope everybody's as safe as they can be, and definitely giving you all of our love and say if there's any ways we can help, definitely by all means let us know. So we try to do what we can. So yeah, qualifying continuing on here. We're going to go look back to last season, go back and look at our point standings, and it was Dude Conrad, our series champion, by 2 points over Seth Groover, 5 points over Jason Bogart. Eric Laurie and Jim Brooks were the top 5 in that championship standings, only 12 points between first and fifth. And and I do see a lot of those same faces here again. I see Dude in the field. I see Seth, Jason Bogart, Eric Laurie, Jim Brooks. They're all here. And again, though, we've got a solid field here tonight, so I really hope that this sticks through the season because this is going to be a really, really good championship fight here, I feel like, this season. And again, Matt, feel free to chime in as well. But basically, rules same as always. 1 fast repair, 3 green white checkered attempts. Obviously, no passing below that yellow line. Probably should be, I believe, 3 pit stops on fuel. We'll see how the pit stop window goes. Again, new cars, we'll have to learn these a little bit as we go. And yeah, I say these cars do have a slightly slanted nose to the rear bumper, so they can't really lay on the draft really hard, really aggressively. They're going to have to be a little more more gentle, if you will, with the bumps. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that over the course of the season as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, a lot of learning for these drivers, and yeah, glad to have you all along here for the ride. And with that, I believe qualifying has just completed. And so we will. And so we're going to go and bring up our first grid of the season. And it is going to go to the number 14. Oh, that's the wrong button. Pro streamer over here. There we are. Number 14 of Vicente Guerrero will be our pole sitter for tonight. He is in that number 14 machine. Next to him, Jack Wall's only 3,000ths off. Gabe Butler there as well, right on that 3,000ths of a number as well. Dean Wilkinson, Eric Laurie, top 5. Then you got Jimmy Reynolds there, Tom Dixon, Bud Steele, Carl Lingle, Patrick Groover, our top 10. Dude Conrad, our defending champion. Next to him is Andrew Schroeder. Continuing down the field here, you've then got Nick Wing, Ambrose Kniebel, Rick Sanchez, Jeremy Osborne, Adam Kilday, Brandon Briggs, Kevin Freeze, not in the playoffs team, Everett Lane, Matt Wagner. Matt Wagner. That nerd is not racing. He is broadcasting with me tonight. Then you got Seth Groover, Ryan Decker, Peter DeBorgia here tonight as well. Always love to have Peter in the field. Jason Bogart, Zach Perry, Jim Brooks, Jacob Lee, and Bob Fitzgerald. So 29 cars. Actually, going to be 28, obviously, with that 11 not being in this one tonight. But, yeah, great car count here tonight. Upper 20s. We love to see that, Matt. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what these guys have for us tonight. I may have. It's a tough one. There's a lot of syllables in there.
We're over where we live, and it's luckily the winds were really not all that damaging, but it was about 80 75 miles an hour winds at least, but we got kind of lucky to still have power. But those guys in Florida, man, I really feel for them. I really do.
Yeah, and the hope is that, like you said, obviously that everybody gets their power back as soon as possible, and just everybody gets kind of as safe as they can back, and everything going. So like I said, luckily it seems like a lot of our guys, let's say I talked to a couple of them, like some of our Florida mans, if you will, they're good to go, but I mentioned Frank Ranger Jr. Unfortunately no power for him, so no internet for him, so unfortunately he is not here tonight, but definitely hope to see Frank back on track soon. But Matt, we got some new cars in the field here tonight, which is going to be a lot more fun manufacturers. We're going to see a lot of templates that are going to be played, and let's all these guys make some fun paint schemes for these things. And I'll say, again, the other thing that's going to be fun is we're going to be having some sponsorship races over the course of the season. I got 2 already lined up with Mission 22 and ASPCA. We're actually going to be having right there that 14-car upholsterer tonight. We're going to be having a Vince Service and Repair sponsored race as well. So I'll say we're going to have some really good stuff here on the field. And again, if you're interested, I'd say feel free. I'll say you can sponsor a race. Just reach out to myself or Jim Brooks, and we can kind of get you the info that you need. And say if you want to have a Nerd 500, Matt, let us know. We can get you to sponsor a race. But
nah, I think I'm good for that. But you know what? It's tempting. It really is.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Glad to have you back as well, man. I know you've been busy on the back side of things for getting the IndyCar series ready for 2025 as well. So, but definitely appreciate you hopping back on board with me here. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I say we're about to get going for the first race of the season. It's gonna hand it over to that front row of Vicente Guerrero and Jack Walls as they hit the restart zone. Green flag is out, and we are down and away. Matt, race number 1 of season 3 is underway.
I will say one thing before about these cars. These cars are easier than the push in an Xfinity car since the update of iRacing. It's actually these cars are a lot of fun. I had a blast Wednesday racing these cars with some of these guys here, and these are the best cars in this earth. Plate race, bar none.
Yeah, these cars are a ton of fun, and I was saying right on cue, Caitlin popping in, rooting on Ryan Decker. So Caitlin, glad to have you here. Always love seeing you here, supporting your hubby. And I'll say again, apologies for probably having to open up a new link there for the broadcast, but definitely glad to have you. And Matt, right now we still have all 28 cars, I should say, all right together here. Actually, I lie. I think we might have 27. I'm not sure if I see the 54 of Patrick Groover. So I'll have to see if he's got some difficulties going on.
He's there.
Is he there? Oh,
Monster Energy.
Yeah, his timing and scoring is just a little screwy on my side there. So right now it's showing, to me, it's showing him 1 lap down. So we'll have to see if that updates itself, fixes itself. But a little weird hiccups right now for that 54 car. So we'll keep an eye on him. But right now, Matt, I think everybody's just trying to kind of mind their P's and Q's and get familiar, get more comfortable back with the car. Because like you said, it's a lot of fun, but it will drive a little different. You can see the big skew off to on the right side of those cars, and that also makes it a little trickier sometimes running the outside line. It's real easy to kind of get that right rear hooked into the outside wall. So, and I can tell you timing and scoring has fixed. And now it shows Patrick right where he should be in that 54 car in the 11th spot at the moment. Again, still very early in this 75-lap race, but right now all drivers still safely in this lead pack.
I'm just checking out all these guys with all these different paint schemes. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to having a point where we can run through the field and show off the wonderful paint schemes. I'll say since Ryan's had a couple people chiming in, I'll say he has got the Timberwolf paint scheme for the moment. I'm pretty sure Kalen's going to make him at some point throw together a Sensi paint scheme, but right now he's got that one going. And then also a new car number, Jason Bogart right there in that Flex Seal number 17, or 017 technically, but 17 on thing. I love the rear bumper there. I don't know if you saw that, Matt, but it has People's Champ on the left rear there. I say definitely a very popular driver from the YouTube viewers, so definitely love to have all of you here tonight. And yeah, say it'll be a lot of fun this season. And like I said, we're going to be going to 4 different, very difficult tracks, very different tracks, especially 3 of those 4, Matt, from here straight to iRacing Super Speedway. These cars are going to be very interesting to see how they race over there.
I think that's a Steve Grissom paint scheme. Let's talk about Ryan Decker. Maybe that's Steve Grissom.
Does feel...
David Green.
Oh, David Green, you were spot on.
David Green. Yep.
I said that's the fun part too. Is I say obviously there's a lot of great original paint schemes. I say some of them obviously kind of throwing back to maybe what they were used to. Got one car jumping up top there. I think was that no, it wasn't.
Vince? Is that Vince?
Yeah, Vicente. Yeah, he's gonna roll back here. I think he said I did what I wanted to do early. Let me roll back here and feel things out a little bit. So we're gonna have a little bit of 3 wide for the moment, but he'll slot back in here safely, and that's gonna put Gabe and Jack now to the point. Yeah, there goes Vince sliding on in. And obviously, like I said, we talked. I tried my best to talk, and obviously Gabe's been going through a ton, but really happy to have him back in the field and on track. And as you can see, obviously the little extra love he's got on his car for Genie, and yeah, definitely a really tough time for him. But he had a lot of people come and support him, and I know that meant a ton to him. So definitely, like I said, glad to see him back on track. And yeah, I'll say it's just it's one of those things that's just going to take some time. But yeah, loving him back, and I say he's going to be doing what he does best, and that's what he's doing right now, running up front. I say speaking of a little bit, almost I wouldn't say pink for sure, but look at Dean Wilkinson as well in that number 55. As soon as
Gabe
jumps
chrome on there too, man.
He's got some shine to that thing. I say it's like a pinkish purple, but really good looking paint scheme for Dean. He's been really having fun with these paint schemes lately. There goes Gabe. He's going to clear back by that number 83 Jack Walls. He's going to go back to the point. And then right now the numbers not matching with the car number there. Jimmy Reynolds in the 26, but showing in the 17 car. Also a really good looking paint scheme there as well with the extra life on the door. And then you got Wolfson Children's on the hood of that one too. We've talked about obviously extra life a lot. A really great program. Peter DeBorge has done a ton of work with them. And that's always good. He's got a lot of guys that kind of work with him as well to help support that foundation. So really love to see that for him too.
Actually, I'm kind of digging Dude Conrad's cars all the way back there, the black and red. It really shines for me.
Yeah, we got to go back to our defending champion winner of that Sunday, and say couldn't quite. Oh, X Mark. So I have to see what that was. We'll find what that.
Oh, we had a little bit of the car in the wall in the back.
Looks like everybody's hanging on okay. So it looks like so far so good. I'm wondering who
that was. I think it was Jason Bogart. Yep, he got into the wall.
I'll say if the bad luck continues, he's gonna be like, hey, you know what? I need to change my car number back. So, but he's got Zach Perry there with him, so he's unfortunately gonna be in a bit of a tough spot right now on the draft side of things. But at least he's not rolling full on solo with it, because right now he's got over a second and a half to Peter DeBorgia, who's kind of rolling just with Brandon Briggs here early on. Say Peter, you can see he's got the extra life scheme on his. I say he's going with the Chip Ganassi paint scheme on his, and I say he'll get mad at me if I get the wrong driver. But the 41 car in this, would that have been Reed Sorensen, David Stremme?
Let me look.
I say 41. I feel like was Sorensen at one point or another, but that's like
you're right. No, you are right. But I need to see the paint. Where are you at?
He's cruising in the back there, about P26.
Oh. That almost, you know what?
He'll tell me after the race, though.
You know, I'm really thinking, oh, God. It almost looks like close to an Adam Petty thing?
Dean Wilkinson making the quick exit off to the apron, but now he's got to hope someone's going to give him room here, because this is where this is in Talladega. That car will drift up. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Just about got into the left rear. And again, Talladega, you can do that. Daytona, it's not so easy. So luckily for Dean, I say no contact, but I'm a little nervous about him catching the field back up here. So I'll have to keep an eye and see how the gap goes for him. Another driver glad to see back in the field as well, as then in the outside lane there is that 85 of Adam Kilday. I say Adam has been very stout in the little bit of time that he's been here lately. He worked with Rick a lot as well in that 5 car. Obviously Everett Lane as well. Great to have Everett here. He is one of those ones as well. When he's here, he's definitely one to keep an eye out week in and week out. So I'm really happy to have those guys back on board as well. So you got Tom Dixon as well, 411. Say that car looking very, very similar paint scheme style. And I say you see a big range of stuff, and right behind him you've got a Dodge. I think, well, actually no, is that a new Camaro nose? I'm not sure on the 30 of Carl Engel. I thought it was a Dodge initially, but you can see actually no headlights on the 411. Because you have so many options you can play with, and so that's what's really fun about this new Gen 4 ARCA car. But then,
now it just hit me, Kyle. I'm thinking Joe Nemechek. That's what Peter's scheme is based off of.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. He'll let us know at some point.
I'm going to have to ask him after the race.
Then you got to go Days of Thunder, the 21 of Jacob Lee. I say that's always an iconic one. I'd say it's so simple but so good. And I've always enjoyed that paint scheme. That one, the Superflow paint scheme, they're all so good. The only thing is, he might get mixed up a little bit for Jeremy Osborne, because they've got pretty similar looking colors there with the yellow and the green.
Yep.
Ooh, got a big bobble up top there. Who was that? Was that Brandon Briggs? Yeah, it was Brandon, the 81. He had a little bit of a wiggle there. Looks like Peter's going to go back up there and help him out. Right in front of them, Bob Fitzgerald. Great to have Bob back on track as well. So right now he's kind of just cruising right now, 23rd spot. Jim Brooks right in front of him in the 51. 22nd. Again, these guys just kind of biding their time, like I said early on. You're going to always have those two kind of big wiggles up there. Jeremy Osborne there. That car got all sorts of just squirrely there. And again, though, these cars, some of the settings you're going to have to want to adjust and feel more comfortable with. And yeah, so it's going to take some time and some laps just to find what works for you with this car. Maybe it didn't work for you with the trucks or with the Xfinity cars. So it's going to be fun to learn and see how these guys adjust.
Speaking of adjust, do we have a fuel number when these guys are going to pit?
I do not. It's going to be a learning one as we go, because, again, I mean, we had the numbers kind of dialed into a T as of the drivers for the trucks in Xfinity. I never really had a chance to ask about the fuel numbers for these, so we're going to be learning as we go. I'm suspecting it's going to be a little under that 25 mark. So I'm going to guess like high teens, low 20s. Will probably be when we expect to see him in. And again, what will happen here is if they say, oh, you know what, we went way too short or way too long, they'll fine tune it for the next race. And that's what I love as well, is these guys are always willing to kind of find the changes that make the best product on the track. So right now I'm looking at highest climbers, Matt. Right now at the moment, Everett Lane is definitely one of those. He is plus 13, plus 14, kind of depending on where he is with Eric Laurie. Right behind him, same thing, Seth Gruber kind of bouncing between 13 and 14. as is Jacob Lee as well in the 21. So all three of those guys have made some pretty big gains so far in this run. Again, and now it's also going to be that strategy. Do you want to be up front burning more fuel? Or are you just going full fuel save and try to make that big push after the first group of pit stops? So there's always a lot of decisions that can be made. And I can tell you that Dean Wilkinson, he did fall off the draft. So now these guys have a 3-car draft with Dean, Jason, and Zach. So again, unfortunately, they're going to have to hope for a little bit of troubles to get back into the thick of this.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage of dropping to the apron and dropping to the back. And some cars, when I expect you to let up and let you back in, but they technically don't have to let you back in if there's 2x2.
Yeah, say it's a risk versus reward.
Yeah, it's risk, and he's done that now for a couple of races, and I kind of question that, but I talked to him after the race a couple of times, but a couple of times that it's kind of saved him a few times from accidents, but you never know what can happen here, especially with these new cars.
Yeah, and like I said, I think also it's the track. I think Talladega, like I said, you can get away with it there. Daytona, iRacing, Atlanta, no, you can't do that there. So, like I said, I think maybe just he expected the field to catch him quicker or go by him quicker, whatever it may be. So it's just like I said, it was a little mistake. Again, though, we still got over 50 laps to go in this one here, only on 17 of 75. So a lot of time to go in this one. You see Everett Lane there now working to the front. For a moment, we saw Patrick Gruber to the front. Then Adam got back by, and now Everett to the front. And it seems like it's almost like a little conveyor belt, Matt, where the outside line, they get the big momentum off. They'll get that push to the front, and then someone will jump back at, Gabe.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness. Caution is out, and I think it's further back here. Yeah, we got 3 cars involved. It looks like the 21, the 8, and the 08. Or sorry, yeah, the 81, the 08, and the 21. My side, I think the 8 is okay. But before that, though, Gabe had some big slide going on there. I'm going to go back. First, I want to see what happened to Gabe there because that car just stepped out. You can already see him drifting out towards the wall. So I want to check this one before we then go to the next one. So we're watching the 88 here. He drifts up. And yeah, right there, he gets hooked in the right rear in the wall. He has to catch it and chase it. But then we saw the contact further back, and you can see, yeah, this contact is already happening. So let's back it down a little further. And, I think 2 drivers going for the same real estate here. It looks like you see the 21, you see the 48. And then on the entry, the 21 kind of comes down. The 48 is there or just about there. And, yeah, I don't think any maliciousness on either of those, just kind of same guys, or 2 drivers going for the same real estate, but man, right in front. Look at the 51. He has to just completely wind. You see the 48. He catches the outside wall trying to avoid it. And then Jim sneaks by. Peter DeBorgia sneaks by. And then, unfortunately, just Bob Fitzgerald just kind of gets stuck in no man's land here. You can see he's doing all he can. And then, unfortunately, just gets into the path of Brendan Briggs. And that's about all she can do there on those ones. So, tough break for those guys. Again, though, we'll jump back live because everybody's on pit road here. And so this will be the first caution service for these guys. Adam Kildee going to be the first in his box. And we will keep an eye on this. But you know what we're going to do, Matt? We're going to take advantage of this one more time. And we're going to do a quick commercial break here for our wonderful camera sponsor of Whiplash SimCams. We'll be right back. All right, lights are off of that pace car. Matt, we did have a couple lengthy pit stops, some drivers getting damage repairs, trying to save that fast repair, obviously. So we'll keep an eye on that. Say Brandon Briggs, I think, yeah, you can see he's still got some little bit of right front damage on his car. Jacob Lee, that might need a fast repair. I don't know, that nose looks way too pushed in for comfort for me, but looks like he's gonna stick with it. However, we mentioned during the break there, really big break there for some of those guys, like the ones that had lost the draft, like Zachary Perry, Jason Bogart, and Dean Wilkinson. So it's a really good break for those guys to get back into the thick of this one here.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's everybody's got a learning curve, and I probably have to 100% agree with you on Jacob Lee. That car is toast. I have no idea what it's going to do in the draft. This is all new to me, so I guess we're both in a learning curve, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's fun about this though too, is we're gonna get to learn and see what works and doesn't work for some of these cars, and yeah, how repairable are they? So that's gonna be really cool to see. Also, a lot of right now up front, Jack Walls, he started second running first, but then the next four cars plus 18, plus 16, plus 13, plus 17. So big jumps for those guys from second to fifth.
Oh, Jacob's not going to make it back. He's on the back stretch and about to go green right now.
Yeah, green flag is back out. He's hoping this was Talladega because then he'd have a little extra time to try to catch the field. So yeah, so Jacob's going to need a little bit of help here to give a chance for him. As we get back to green, Jack Walls leading the inside lane. Kevin Freeze to his back bumper there. So Kevin now also used him in the Budweiser paint scheme, so he's got the 25 or it looks like obviously the 48, the Jimmy Johnson Cobalt scheme. Always a good looking scheme on that one. I was obviously back in those days with me being a giant Kenseth fan. I didn't like seeing that paint scheme because it usually meant he was going against my driver.
You still are.
Well, yeah, but he's retired, so.
Oh, you still make paint schemes.
But no, so yeah, right now though, Jack's had a good initial start to this race. Again, still a long ways to go. Oh, we got a route on for Zach. I'm going to go out and limit stats for Zach Perry. So, I have no shame, Matt. We're going to focus in on that number 76 car of Zach Perry there, as he right now is running in that 22nd position. Again, he's one of those guys that lost the draft early, but again, that caution brought him right back into it there. And I say I'm biased, but I always loved the Unical 76 ball. So the fact that he has that 76 ball as his number on the door and the hood, or on the roof, I'm sorry, love it.
Your dad did run that scheme for a long time.
Yeah. That Unical scheme, we ran that so much. That was pretty much the go-to for him until he switched over to the 51 for Area 51. So, yeah, that paint scheme as well, that sponsor and paint scheme definitely has some fond memories for me as well. And I have been told that I need to update our paint schemes to get the correct paint scheme for Peter DeBorgia. So, next opportunity we will try to do so. Because again, we got to keep the pro painter happy over there. Peter doing some great graphics for a lot of these drivers here, and so you always want to show off I feel like he's always got a little something special up his sleeve for his own paint scheme. So
he usually does.
But again, though, man, I'm looking one more time back here again, and I think the problem right now is the pusher car, or the leading car. I'm sorry, Brandon Briggs. He's got that nose damage, so I feel like where Bob and Dean are, this isn't ideal.
No, it's
one of the
not
two
ideal.
of them needs to be leading, and then Brandon
I think they heard you.
I think they just adjusted here, but I think unfortunately the damage is going to be done. They're our second and a half off Vicente. Vicente is about 4/10 off of Zach, so yeah, so they're going to have to adjust here.
I think Vince is trying to do those guys a favor. Hey, you know how lenient some of these guys are.
Yeah, you try to be that ladder car.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit too far for them now.
Oh no, yeah, it's way too far now, and unfortunately, it's one of those things where you also as a driver, like for us, it's easy. We see it on the TV cam. It's like, oh, that car's got right front damage. Unless Dean or Bob or anybody like that get up next to them, they won't see that right front damage, so they don't know. This isn't obviously like you don't have a lot of time. Well, some guys do, but a lot of these guys don't have a live spotter, so you're just kind of relying on what iRacing's telling you, and so that kind of comes into play too, where your iRacing spotter doesn't say, hey, that car in front of you has damage, so you don't know, and you can only base it off what you know from what you can see. And like I said, usually, yeah, you don't really see those front corners.
By the way, we have a new leader. He's up plus 19, Gael. How about that 24 car of Everett Lane?
Yeah, but Adam's saying, hold on a second. I'm going to steal that spot right back from you.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Adam's going to go to the top there. So, but yeah, you're right, though. Great job by Everett to get right back up into the mix there. Look at that squeeze by Seth Gruber there. He wants to get to that outside lane. He sees the momentum that it's been forming, and so he's going to jump to that outside. That's going to give a couple of boot knockers here, nose to tail. Kevin and Gabe, again, pinned to the inside, but I don't know. Again, we don't really know the fuel mileage, so the timing of that yellow, it very well could be in an ideal spot for maybe a fuel save strategy here to maybe try to pull something off. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. And we've got a Jeremy Osborne fan in the house. We're going to jump back to that number 41 machine. I say he right now is right behind Nick Wing in that Halveling scheme there. I believe that's definitely got to be a Ricky Red paint scheme on that 28. But like I said, I've always enjoyed the blind squirrel cars because, again, they're simple, but they work really well. And,
Yeah,
I won't lie.
Really well.
I crack up every time I see that just completely jacked squirrel. I mean, I'd be scared if I saw a squirrel that buffed up.
The Grand Theft Auto text.
Yes, exactly. No, I really love it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, like I said. And that's what those group of guys are. Is they're having fun. They're having a good time. And I'm all about that. And so, yeah, so I really enjoy. And they're a lot of fun to chat with. I haven't had a chance to really race with them yet, but just being able to talk to them kind of before races, after races, yeah, they're a great time. And yeah, like you mentioned, the 21 car not catching the field. He's still going to be in a tough spot here because even right now he's going to try to tuck down and get the draft. I mean, you see the nose damage, you see the right front damage. We saw the rear end as well. That car's seen better days, and I don't know if it's going to be able to hang on to this draft. So I think, unfortunately, this is going to be one of those ones for Jacob where he would have wished he had taken that faster pair to give himself a better shot. And also Brandon Briggs, he's on pit road. Lengthy stop here. Maybe a pit road speeding on entry. I'm not 100% sure, so we'll keep an eye and see when Brandon starts rolling back out. But right now he's sitting at about 40 seconds stationary. If it goes to about 56, 58, that's usually a telltale of speeding hold. But right now, Matt, this is the first time the inside lane's actually held pretty solid here with that 24 and the 85 leading the inside lane. Jack Walls now as well. And yeah, so sure enough, it was definitely a either unsafe entry or speeding because the 81 just now leaving pit road. So that is going to drop him, I believe, just one lap down. So we'll keep it. Yeah, there he goes coming out of the field and saying that's always a little bit of a terrifying feeling too, though, when you see the full field just blowing right by you as you're going about 60, 80 miles an hour or so. Well, these guys are going 180 with not a lot of room between the two of you. So,
oh no, not at all. The thing that's probably going to disturb me the most is when these cars pit. I hope these guys practice their pit entry because these cars do not stop like the Xfinity car or the Cup car or the truck.
Oh. Saw the one in the wall. He's stuck to the wall right now. Oh, Peter DeBorgia also up. Oh, that's just some connection issues there. I think that's what was really throwing everybody off there. Is I think Eric Laurie had a little bit of connection issues, and we saw the reaction there from the from Jimmy Reynolds. We saw it from Peter DeBorgia trying to react as well. So a couple of cars caught the wall in that. We're all stayed pointing in the right direction. I think everybody's going to safely still be in that draft, but that definitely caught a few guys off guard and by surprise. And it's shaking up the top running order just that little bit.
Yep. But look at that top line guy.
I was going to say, yeah, the little bit of a miscommunication or hiccup, I guess you should say. It's kind of became a benefit here for the outside line with Kevin and Gabe. So Gabe's going to try to jump to the outside here, push his teammate Jack Wall is going to tag along with him. We're going to hop on board with that number 88 here behind Kevin.
I love that camera.
Yeah, so the roof cams are always good. The onboards are always good. But again, though, I don't know. This duo of the 85 and the 24, they're looking pretty solid, man, I've got to say.
Adam is no slouch. Adam is not no slouch, man.
And that's the other thing too, Matt, and it's not just the pusher that's got to be good. It's also got to be so obviously Everett's done a great job, but also like you said, Adam, he's got to hold a steady line to make it easy for Everett to push him safely and comfortably. And that's exactly what we're seeing out of the two of those right now. And that's what's allowed them to kind of be as strong as they were. Because, again, we saw earlier the inside lane, it would kind of drop a little bit back. Outside would pass a car to rinse and repeat. We're not seeing that this time around. So, and talk about the blind squirrels there a little further back. Now we got to jump up front here. Carl Engel, he's right outside the top 5, right behind Bud Steele. Carl had a really, really good season. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Carl had to miss a few races at the end of the season for a surgery. So really happy to see him back out on track as well. So, I mean, and hopefully that means obviously that it went well because he's back in racing. So I'm really happy to see Carl back on track here. And I'm excited because he had a really, really good season going before he had unfortunately kind of parked it a little early for some procedure, if you will. I don't have it. I can't remember what it was. It was like a knee or something along those lines.
Well, right now my focus is on that 5 car. We haven't talked about him pretty much the whole entire race, but now he's found his way up to the top line, trying to catch up to Gabe. A little bit of a checkup there, but I think he might catch those 3 down the backstretch. With him tucked up behind Gabe Butler there, I think that should give the 25 a shot.
Yeah, he's got the Groovers behind him, and Corey Buskirk hopping on, rooting on his squirrels. Good to see you, Corey. Definitely hope to see you on track soon as well, sir. I can't remember if you run Sundays or it's just on the Thursday nights, but definitely enjoy having you on track. And now I'm starting to second guess myself. Matt's like, wait, was it Corey that had? I know it was a blind squirrel that had surgery, but I don't remember which one, unfortunately. So they got too many squirrels in that tree.
Maybe a few nuts.
That's their goals. I mean, and saying that's, I said, I love those. That's the whole core. That's the joke, if you will. Is a blind squirrel finds the nut every now and then. So, but yeah, always enjoy, like I said, chatting with those guys. Always a lot of fun to be with. So, and I was getting a little nervous for Peter DeBorgia. He'd just about fallen off the draft, but I think he's just about pedaled back into him, catching back up to Zach Perry and Jason Bogart. So it looks like that's going to be pretty good here. As a little bit of contact there between the 24 and the 88 there coming out of 4. Everybody stays pointing in the right direction. And we are now starting lap 35 of 75. So again, Matt, they all pitted around lap 18. So we're kind of all in the guessing game at this point. So with them pitting around 18, 19, we assume that they can go to probably about, I don't know, probably upper 30s, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the cars. Peter, I'm looking at Peter's. He came down on the top off the lap 20. So we're pretty much about 14 laps into the run.
I think Peter tried to get around Tom Dixon. Tom had the same idea. It's like, I'm going to get back down here too. And so they had to make a little bit of adjustment. He saw one catching the outside wall there. I think that was Ambrose Kniebel. He's all right, though. And I say we saw the same thing earlier with Gabe. So these cars, I got to mention, Matt, the track temperature. I hadn't mentioned that tonight, and I apologize for not catching it sooner. It is 129-degree track temperature. Oh. That is much warmer than these guys are usually used to. They're usually used to this being a much cooler, kind of an overcast track. Drives a lot nicer, a lot happier. I think that's also probably playing a little bit of a role in this thing, too. Sometimes in the camera angles, too, you can almost see the heat effect off the track and off the cars. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, looking at track usage. Usually the combination with high track usage and a very, very hot track temp will make the track nice and slippery. And so you have to be very careful about your tire choices when you come down pit road, because I've been a victim of, changing just right side tires. Bad idea, because it kind of made the car really unhappy.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Like I said, these cars might react to 2 tires differently or fuel only. And of course, also depending on how big the fuel tanks are on these cars. If they're a very reduced amount, you'd be waiting on the left side tires. If you take 4, you'd be waiting on the left. So yeah, there's a lot that you can kind of play with and make some decisions on. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh my goodness!
Oh my God!
I don't know if that was an intended move. I think that may have been a bump by Seth there, just trying to push him, and then Gabe changed lanes. Again, these bumpers don't quite line up perfectly, so you can push and bump in these, but you kind of got to roll in a little gentle, a little easy. Because, yeah, if you just go full speed and kind of maybe slam draft, if you will, not the biggest fan of that term, but kind of an aggressive bump, if you will, that, yeah, usually that will probably lift the rear of these cars off the ground.
Yeah, that's the same for the Xfinity car. Every time I give a shot on here on Thursday, he would actually you hear the car rev like the car is trying to rise up.
Yep.
So that is kind of new to me. It's iRacing has done some pretty weird updates, but yeah. So this car here, more friendlier than the Xfinity car, I think, in my mind. And
For sure,
so,
after the new build, yeah.
oh yeah.
We just crossed halfway, Matt. And I also got to tell you that that Belva's here as well, rooting Rick on, and she's saying it's pretty smooth tonight. Must be waiting till the last 20. So we're hoping that this is going to be a smooth race altogether. And yeah, Corey, I could definitely see being able to get double time at work is that's a hard one to pass up. So yeah, glad to hear you'll be back next week, though, man. It's always fun having you in the field as well. But yeah, I totally get that, but definitely enjoy your home time now after working double time, because yeah, that's a busy day.
I hate double time.
Oh, the pay's good for it though.
I know, but still.
Yeah,
But you know, it depends what kind of work.
that's true. Let's try to get all his info. Let's get his work info, and then while we're at it, let's grab his address and social and all that. So yeah, if you want to send this over to us, Corey, definitely not for nefarious purposes, though. Promise.
All right, so we are now pretty much like 2019 laps into a run here. The question is, when are these guys heading down the road? I'm looking at, let's see, they had about 12.2 gallons put in their tanks.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
When they first start.
So 12.2, I think they could actually go more than 25.
What do you think about 26, 27?
Yeah, it might be. So right now, again, they pit all at 18. So we'll say they restarted in lap 20. We're on lap 40 now. So they basically have gone about 20 laps green flag at this point. You see the groovers here. Looks like Seth is cleared, but he's not going to drop. He's going to stay with his brother here at the moment. Not going to kind of ditch his partner. But yeah, so that's going to be, I think the thing is, okay, so we're at 20. We're at 41 now, or we're on 41 now. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Field here is catching up to Brendan Briggs. Again, he had to pit off sequence to get that fast repair. And unfortunately did have a unsafe entry or speeding penalty that gave him the extra stop and hold. So he's going to run this third lane here, let the field slide on by, and then drop back in line here, which I believe will be able to happen right after Ryan Decker. Oh, but as I say that, though, same thing. Again, these cars, that right rear sticks out a little bit. You just got hooked into the outside wall a teeny bit. And again, that's a big difference in these cars, that the way these cars are skewed, it definitely plays a role. But yeah, so Matt, we're coming around the 33 to go. Again, like you said, they last pit around 18 or so. Restarted around lap 20. So yeah, at this point they've gone about 22 laps. So yeah, if they can get to, let's say 26, 27 to go before they pit, maybe even 28, that might be a one-stop window. But I'm starting to see a lot of these guys are really backing down the pace here. I think starting to drop to the bottom. So I think that, yeah, look at this. It's getting very aggressive, Matt. I think pits are about to open here. So again, I think that's going to be just under that 20, 25 lap window. So I think we're about to see a lot of cars hit pit road this time around. Not yet. Everybody's getting ready, it looks like, but no takers this time around. So we're now down to 32 to go. And again, though, starting lap number 44. So based on that, again, that's about 24 laps on fuel. So it might be one of those full tanks and then a splash at the end. It's going to be interesting.
I think I know what these guys are doing. It's kind of like hit me. I think these guys are trying to max save so they don't have to pit again.
I don't know.
I think that's why these cars are all spaced out and the speed has dropped as well.
I'm also thinking of, I don't know, I feel like the way these guys have dropped to the bottom, I think we're about to see pit road entry, but you're right though, it's the paces. So last time by it was a 45.76. The best has been a 44.60. This time is 45.79. So yeah, so they're about a second, 1.2 tenths a little slower off, but yeah, we'll still have to keep an eye on see what's going on. But right now, poor dude Conrad, he's like, all right, I either need, oh, I think it was Brandon Briggs catching the outside wall there off of 2. But you're right though, the pace has really backed it down a ton. Where I mean, again, like for instance, dude Conrad, he's able to kind of gain, if not even hold steady, if not even gain, I should say, without any drafting help. So yeah, I think you're right, Matt. I think right now they're trying to get to that number. So I think it's turned into Kevin Freese's favorite type of racing, which is fuel mileage racing.
Oh God, don't remind me.
So yeah, so right now we've got a pretty decent train. I'm gonna try to do a real speedy through the field here. Start off with our current leader, Gabe Butler, in that number 88. Behind him is Kevin Freese. Third is Everett Lane. And then fourth and fifth, you got the Groover brothers, Seth in the 32, Patrick in the 54. Just talked about dude Conrad there in the number 8 car. He is sitting in 6th. In 7th, you've got Adam Kilday there in the 85. Behind them, Bud Steele in that number 6. Haven't talked a lot about Bud so far today, but he is in kind of just in that, been up front in the front half of the pack pretty much this whole race here. Just I think try to mind his P's and Q's till it's time to go. Then you got Rick Sanchez. We mentioned him a little earlier in that 5. Ryan Decker mentioned him early on there in the 48. Then you got Carl Lingle in the 30, the first of our squirrels at the moment. Jack Walls in the 83, our outside front row driver. Nick Wing, a little bit of right front damage I saw in that 28 car, but he still sits 13th. Eric Laurie right behind him in that John Deere machine in 14th. Jeremy Osborne, second of our squirrels there in 15th. Then you got Vicente Guerrero there in 16th. Behind him, Jim Brooks, 17th position. Jimmy Reynolds in 18th. Andrew Schroeder Sr., in the 19th spot. Jason Bogart there 20th. And then we got Zach Perry in 21st. Pierre DeBorgia, 22nd. And Ambrose Kniebel there in 23rd, who is the last car in this. This is the last car in this main draft. Tom Dixon in the 411. And then early pit stops here for Dean Wilkinson there. Again, he was out of the draft. As you got Bob Fitzgerald, Brandon Briggs, and Jacob Lee are our drivers on track. Now we're going to jump back up front, Matt, because I think it's about go time.
Yep, it's pin time. Here they come.
And will it be everybody? It looks like a very busy pit road. Got a couple going an extra lap here. I think that's going to be important. Oh, my goodness. There's a lot of locked tires there, but so far I'm seeing everybody straight on the entry. Now can they get to their pit stalls without dramas? No, Kevin Freese got turned. He is perpendicular track. I didn't see what happened, but he definitely got spun around, unfortunately. You see one overshooting their pit stall there and some of the other drivers here. So I like this group right here, Matt. Vicente, Jimmy, Andrew, Jason, Zach, and Peter. If they can have enough fuel to go this one extra lap, 1, obviously it's less fuel saving, and 2, it's going to be a less crowded pit road. So I'm also waiting to see on pit road to see penalties if there's any speeding on entry. We should see these guys all hop in. Yep, here they all come in together. And again, look, I mean, so much more calm. This is what you want to see if you're in this group. And actually, I think no penalties on the first group of pit stops. Just obviously some miscues, unfortunately. Oh, you see right there's Jason Bogart having to reverse a little bit. That's going to... still reversing there. Oh, that's going to kill him, unfortunately. It's going to be so many spots lost in the 17 car. So, yeah, so that's a tough break. You can see they're already starting to roll now, and he's still got a fair bit of service to go. So, I saw left side tires going up. I think a lot of 4-tire stops here, actually, Matt. You see those guys rolling out. Andrew had a 12.8 second pit stop. That could maybe be 2 tires, but we'll have to wait and see. But now we got to watch out the back and see where are those drivers that just pitted. And here they come, and it looks like being led by Everett Lane.
I was watching some of these guys when they're pitting. Some took rights,
And there they go.
some took lefts. I know Peter took rights when he came down pit road.
I said that'll make it a little looser on pit exit in general. And Matt, we have a very important question in the chat being asked, who is Matt Wags? Asked by none other than a Zach Fritsch fella.
Oh my God. Can we someone ban him in the chat, please?
Glad to have you, Zach. Hope you're doing well, man. But yeah, so Matt, we got a 3-car breakaway right now. Everett, Gabe, and Dude. That's now over this 4-pack of cars here being led by Eric Laurie, Jack Walls, Ryan Decker, Adam Kilday. They've got about a second on this duo here of Andrew Schroeder and Vicente Guerrero, who have about a second over Zach Perry, Jimmy Reynolds, and Peter DeBorgia. So right now, as things run, and then you get to the giant pack here being led by Rick Sanchez, and they say they're about to kind of catch this group of Vicente and Andrew. So, but I don't know, man. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of these top 3. I'm going to be, once everybody cycles in and gets settled in, I want to see lap times right now because, and we're going to do is, I'm not going to tell you lap times. I'm going to show you lap times. Looking at ticker over on the left, you can see right there, the top 3 ran a 45.01, 45.02, 45.02. However, Eric Laurie and Company, they ran a 45.91.90. So again, that shows you right there, it was a 1/10 of a second quicker for that 071, 83, 48, and 85 combo there. So 3 may not be enough to make this pace happen to try to break away from the field here and settle it amongst themselves potentially. Yeah, I gotta start chatting more with you, Fritz. I say usually, I see you on there. I'll pop on and I'll usually try to talk crap, and then I'll get distracted and not have a chance to give you a hard time. But I saw you got a win recently over at OP, so congrats on that. You looked a little less excited than I would have expected someone who wins a race to be. But I guess when you're used to winning, it's no big deal, huh?
Hey, I'm still looking for my first. I'm still, crabby about that, but
we'll get you one of these years.
Yeah, maybe next
We
year.
almost got you to cry when you went over here.
Yeah, you almost did.
I tried, man. I tried.
Yeah, I know you tried your butt off.
We were proud of you on that one, man. It was I think I said that was definitely one I think everybody was happy to see. So, but man, Matt, I'm looking at the lap times again. Last time by that second pack with Eric Laurie, they were 0.3 of a second quicker. It was an 81 to an 11. This time it's even a little slower, 45.17. We'll wait for Eric Laurie to cross, and actually about equal there. So about 45.17 again. However, the group that's on the move is these guys right here. Zach Perry, Jimmy Reynolds, Peter DeBorgia. They just ran a 44.45, over half a second quicker.
Holy crap.
And because they're getting that huge draft off of Vince and these guys up ahead. And I mean, that's going to be from 4th place all the way back to 19th place, all in this main pack here. And so, yeah, so right now, if you're Everett, Gabe, and Dude, you're going to have to start pedaling pretty hard here because these guys are coming with a pretty big head of steam.
Yeah, this big surge pack here, they're going to come. It's coming. It dropped. They gained about 2/10 of. Uh-oh. Got a little bit of an incident here.
Oh, yeah, I see the 54. Oh, more contact. 54 is around. Still green for the moment. He's going to loop it down. He's off the track, so iRacing may keep it green. Looks like Carl's already rolling here. I'll say, unfortunately for Patrick, he's kind of have to try to grab a gear and get back going again. Or possibly take a tow. I'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, now he's able to get it back up and running. So, we do stay green for the moment. I'll say, while things are... We'll see if they stay calm or not. I'm going to try to see if I can find that incident. We'll jump back here real quick and see. Now it's already happened at that point. We'll jump back live because, say, there's a lot that's about to happen here. Apologies for not being able to catch it. Carl is on pit road for his damage, I suspect. Matt, like you said, lap time-wise is, again, almost about 2/10 quicker for Eric and the company.
Yeah.
But that said, man, these 3 are doing a pretty good job, I've got to say, of being able to... Again, it's about 2.6 seconds from Dude to Eric. And actually... Well, no, the 54's got damage, I'll say. However, if they can steal a little bit of draft off of him there through 3 and 4, and now they'll pass him down the front, that's going to be a big help for them as well, just to get that little extra speed. And they ran about the identical lap there, but I'm looking back now. Now these guys are getting a little racier with each other. Now it's 2x2. And there are a couple trains of thought here of if a big single file line is faster, if running 2x2 in a bigger pack is faster. So there's a lot of kind of strategy of like what's the faster way to catch the field here with the leaders. But I can tell you the last time by, they were about identical laps as the leaders, but they're also about to catch Patrick here, who right now is on the bottom. Now he's going to drift up to the top, let these guys go on by. And so same thing for him. He's going to hopefully be able to tag onto the back of these guys. And so again, everybody's going to start to kind of move around, try to find their slot in here. And I think Patrick should, his speed looks pretty good. I think he'll be able to tag onto this draft now. And I think he'll be okay. And I can tell you it's about 0.2 of a second quicker for Eric Laurie there over the top three here. But again, the laps are clicking down, Matt. We're down to 18 to go. But then the other question is, did they have enough fuel to go full send to the end? Or are these guys maybe having to push harder than they want to? Or maybe they don't have the fuel number to make it to the scheduled distance here. Whereas somebody maybe in this pack here that's maybe a little further back, maybe they're able to pedal a little bit and have that extra fuel at the end. Because right now, obviously, the top three burning a ton. Eric Laurie, Ryan Decker probably burning a ton as well. But then you look a little further back, maybe Peter DeBorges, he's saving a little bit in the 41 earlier on. Jimmy Reynolds, Jim Brooks, Jimmy Osborne. There's a lot of guys that maybe have a little bit of fuel to play with here. But I think, from what I'm seeing now, the separation, I think they realize that they're not going to be able to break away. It's down to under 2 seconds now. And I see them starting to kind of move around a little bit too, where I think it's like, okay, well, we tried, but couldn't quite get it.
Well, I can't tell you. They're about 2 seconds now. It's
oh yeah, no, they've got
very
them now.
Slow progress.
You're about to see a really, probably not this lap, but probably next lap, you're going to see a very fast lap from Eric Laurie, because he's got great pushing from Ryan Decker, and he's going to start to get a lot of draft off the back of Dude Conrad, and yeah, that time by they were 0.6 of a second quicker, Matt.
Oh boy.
So yeah, so this is going to be a monster lap for Eric Laurie, because like I said, he's going to be getting draft. He's got his push. And yeah, so we're about to go from a 3-car breakaway to about a 16-car lead pack battle here for the win potentially. And of course, that's if it goes green. Do need to mention we do have a handful of drivers off of the draft, unfortunately. One of those is Seth Groover. Then a little further back, you've got Jason Bogart, Bud Steele, Tom Dixon, Ambrose Kniebel, Kevin Freese, Dean Wilkinson, and Bob Fitzgerald. Obviously, we saw Patrick got caught up in an incident. I think Carl was in that incident as well. So yeah, so unfortunately, a few of these guys in a tougher position than they would like to be, as well as Brandon Briggs and Jacob Lee from earlier. And yeah, that lap, Matt, was a 44.79 to a 45.42. So not quite a second faster, but very close to it. And you can see now everybody's starting to separate themselves out. We're like, okay, we did the job. We got up front. And now I'm wondering, is this strategy time now? I wonder if some of these guys are throwing the anchor to get the fuel back. Like I'm seeing Ryan Decker. He did a really good job pushing Eric Laurie. Now all of a sudden he's rolling straight to the back here, going to pop in right behind Jack Walls. I'm thinking he's going fuel save here in that 48 machine to try to make sure he has enough to the end. And also, Peter DeBorgia, he's not really pulling way up on these guys. Is Peter trying to save fuel as well? But again, he's almost a second now off of those couple guys in front, so he's got to be careful not to drop too far back. Try to make, potentially, again, this is all, we're all just kind of speculating, Matt, but maybe trying to make a fuel number.
You know, I really think, I was watching this car. Maybe it's a little upset with that 2-tire change. That could be in a little bit of effect how he's driving. Because I'm hearing him lift.
It does look a little loose on entry, I must say. And again, with right now track temp 129 degrees, I can tell you he has closed a little bit on Andrew Schroeder. It's about 0.87 of a second between those two. I'm going to look at their lap times comparatively, and he was about 0.06 of a second quicker. Not a lot. And at some point, too, oh man, Nick Wing got into the back of him there on the entry. So yeah, so either like I said, either Peter's lifting because he's just getting uncomfortable, or maybe it's a fuel save thing he's trying to do. I'm not sure, but I think Nick as well. He's like, hey, I don't want to lose this draft. We need to get back up there. So and yeah, there you go. Nick's actually going to get underneath and get going here. So we'll have to wait and see. So now Jim's going to get up to Nick, but now they're going to have to push a little bit because they did in that whole span there. They lost about 2/10 to that number 84 of Andrew Schroeder. And Andrew's about 6/10 off of Rick here. So I think there's a pretty big cat and mouse game going on right now, Matt.
And they got to get going because, I think that Tyler Jean was a bad option for Peter. Yeah,
I think it's fuel strategy. I think Peter's working some numbers here, but then based on that, if it's a fuel situation, I think the best car right now that is in the best position is this car right here, Vicente Guerrero, because he pitted 1 lap later. He's in this main pack, not having to chase everybody back down. So he right now is the highest of those that pitted the latest. The next line would be Andrew Schroeder in there, but again, you can see he's kind of off in his own little window here. And then these guys are having to try to push hard to get even back to these leaders. So yeah, it's going to be really intriguing to see. Is it a fuel mileage? Is it just, like you said, maybe the track temperature, the car's not feeling great? Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what the strategies are going to be in these remaining 11 to go here, 10 at the line. And yeah, Zach, I agree. I think Peter's running some numbers in his brain calculator there.
I think the car's upset. That I'm just going to go with that because during that last run, when he's going down that stretch, those guys really pulled on him. Like I think it's because he wasn't. The car is really unsettled right now. Yeah. He's having a hard time keeping that thing on the bottom right now.
I think he's probably just wasn't full throttle. But what we'll do is, Peter, get a top 3. We're going to find out what your strategy was. That's the only way we'll know.
Or I'm going to go sneak in.
No, let Peter be. You don't want to mess up the computer while he's computing. But yeah, so this is going to be interesting, Matt. We're within 10 to go now. Again, the field is broken up into a couple packs. Right now, we do have the whole main pack. You can see Jim Brooks and Nick Wing. They have caught back up to them. Obviously, in the process, they did burn a chunk of fuel to do so. So now, again, the question for those guys is, do they have enough to get all the way to the end or not? So yeah, this is very intriguing. Obviously, we'll be able to tell pretty quickly. To me, the first one that we'll be able to know for sure will probably be the 8, the 88, and the 24. Because, again, they were probably pedaling really hard trying to break the field apart. So they will likely have the worst mileage of the field here. Pace-wise, they have, like you talked about before, Matt, they have dropped down a bunch. They're about 45-70s right now. So the pace has dropped. So then same thing, you wonder, okay, at what point does somebody who maybe has been saving this entire run, do they drop the hammer to try to force somebody else to run, like basically to run the rest of the field out of fuel? So there's a lot of strategy that involved in when to go and kind of, to try to make everybody else try to follow your pace, if you will. And right now there is, again, a little bit of a breakaway between Zach Perry there in the 76, back to Jimmy Reynolds, and then again back to Pierre DeBorgia, who's now down to about 9/10 of a second. He's got a couple guys behind him. So yeah, it is. But again, they see him. You're right, though. He does seem like he's kind of wobbling a little bit. So I don't know. I said it'll be very interesting to find out. Of course, I'm sure we'll talk to him after the race, just not on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see, or maybe he'll chime in on the YouTube chat as well. So, but we're down to 7 to go here. Leader's got to try to get around that 04 car of Ambrose Knievel. Looks like they are able to get through cleanly. Just how he's gonna catch the wall just a little bit there. Again, these things get stuck on the wall so easily. Jim Brooks is going to try to squeeze the middle. He will get cleared, and now he'll have a little bit of breathing room before he then comes up to that next pack of cars. And again, it looks like these guys running single file, but you're right though, Matt. A lot of these cars are starting to look a little angry. And like you said, I think that could, like you said, a very good chance it could be the 2 tires, like you said, instead of the normal 4. So we'll see, but we're down to 6 to go here. And I say we've been looking at all that other stuff up front. It's been Everett Lane, Adam Kilday these last handful of laps up front.
I'll be really nervous up there toward the front. I would be kind of nervous. I think these guys, I didn't really look and see if these guys took left sides instead.
Well, I'm looking at fuel. So Everett and Gabe had about 12.5 second pit stops. Duke Conrad 12.1. So I think if you're in the 12-second window, that's probably 2 tires. Adam Kilday was 16.1. Ryan Decker 14.8, 14.6 for Rick. Those to me scream 4-tire pit stops. So I don't know if that's lefts or rights, but I think the 24, the 88, the 8, the 071, all those bottom lane cars, I think all those guys are 2 tires, as we've got 5 laps to go in this one. And then let me go look. Actually, let's see what Peter. Yeah, Peter's 12.83 seconds, so that would also be potentially 2-tire stop for Peter, like you had mentioned. So that could very well be where his discomfort's coming from. Andrew Schur, I think, just caught the wall a little bit off too. Looks like he's okay though. He's going to fall to the back of this main pack for the moment. Jim Burke's going to sneak by him. But yeah, so right now, like I said, is it fuel? Is it tires? What will it come down to here potentially in these next 3 to 4 laps? And also, Matt, before we get to that point, again, if something happens before the white flag comes out, they will re-rack them and have up to 3 attempts. However, if the white flag comes out and then there is an incident, at that point, these drivers will race it out to the finish to determine the winner within reason. Obviously, there's still all the rules, no passing below the yellow line, things of that nature. But so that's going to be, again, the white flag is going to be what these guys up front want to see, because they don't want to bring another 10, 15 drivers into this fight.
Man, oh man. Business is about to pick up. I got 3 to go here.
Yep. Yeah, the pushes are about to get more aggressive.
Yeah, and the push is about to be more aggressive. The tires are screaming. Some of these guys took 4 tires are pretty much loving it. The guys who took 2 tires are on pins and needles. I am curious to see what happens.
And I just saw Vince. He jumped to the outside, but the question for Vince is, does he have any help? Again, he, in my mind, is the best on fuel. He's also, I think, the best, maybe not the best on tires, but he has 4 tires based on his pit stop times. But he needs someone to be able to go with him. And right now, everybody's kind of committed still to the inside line. So, like I said, we still got to get another lap and a half before we get to that white flag. And that'll be then when it will be an official race, if you will. So, yeah, so like I said, these guys got to go that lap and a half, get to that white flag, because we're this time by, Matt, 2 to go here. Oh, big wiggle there by the 48 car. He's able to gather back up. But like you said, it's about to pick up here. Right now, it's still Everett Lane, Adam Kilday leading, 2 to go. Peter DeBorgia, he's back, Matt. He's got right back to this front pack here. Was it just fuel saving from that?
Oh, he's going to get in the wall. Yeah, his car is screaming, I'm angry.
Saw some big pushes from that inside line. You see a lot of wiggles going on. Oh, we got contact in the back. Jack Walls around. We'll see if he can keep it pointed straight or not. So far, he will. So at the moment, we're going to stay green. We'll see, will they get to the white flag, though, in time, or will we get that yellow? Right now, we do still stay green. Caution is out, Matt. And we are going to have overtime here. And we had drivers that were, oh, no, those were the incidents. So we're okay. I was going to say, a bunch of guys spinning around. So I thought they were all heading to pit road. This is going to throw a huge wrench into plans, because now they got a plan for overtime. Let's go back. Let's first see what happened to Jack Walls here. And then we're going to go back even further and see what brought out the yellow. So right now we're going to focus here on that 83. You see, and just big accordion effect, really. And then I think, yeah, just Jack got the worst of it. Let me go back one more time. I'm wondering, did Gabe maybe lift up the back of the 24 car? Maybe the 24, did he run out of fuel here? That car just kind of sputters there. I'm going to check one more time here, Matt. I'm going to go on board. We're going to listen, because I want to hear, does this car have a stumble? Yeah, I think Oh, that's where the incident probably came from there. Oh, yep, right there. Okay, so that's where the caution comes out is the contact afterwards. We saw the and then Jim Brooks tried to get around it, but you can see he can kind of straddles the apron, almost has it, and then just nowhere for some of those guys to go. And big hits for the 48, or sorry, the 48. They're the 81, and so that's what the caution was for. Almost got through, but just not quite. So we'll jump back live here. We had some gamblers, Matt. We had some guys go ahead and decide to go ahead and not pit here. So we're going to
Peter,
catch our
can't wait.
breath, grab a break here, Matt, and let's get back on the one to go. So stay tuned, everyone, for green white checkered attempt number 1. All right, lights are off. The pace car field is doubling back up. Matt, we have 6 cars that did not pit. We got Adam Kilday, Ryan Decker, Rick Sanchez, Vicente Guerrero, Jimmy Reynolds, and Nick Wing. Those guys did not pit. I think at best they can maybe go 1 green white checkered. If that, I do not think
Yeah.
if there's another caution, I think at that point their bed's made, they're gonna have to pit. But again, though, I mean, we just saw. I'm 99% sure. I think that 24 Everett Lane. I think he sputtered on the backstretch. Now is coming to the white. How do these guys think they've got another 2 laps in the tank for this? I could see maybe Vince with where he was and what he was doing. I don't feel as confident for the other guys, so this is going to be interesting. There's also again some guys maybe took fuel only. Some I think did 2. Gabe, I can tell you for sure, took 4. Dude Conrad took 4. Eric Laurie took 4. But Zach Perry only had a 9-second pit stop. That to me says 2. Same thing for Jeremy Osborne, 10.2-second stop. So very different fuel situations, very different tire situations. 128 degrees track temperature. Green white checkered attempt number 1 in race number 1 here with the Area 51 Super Speedway Gen 4 Series. This is going to get even more exciting, Matt. You ready?
Now I'm curious what's the difference between the guys who stayed out and the guys who took tires. But you know what? Here we go. Green, white checker, number 1.
Hit the restart zone. Green flag is out. We are back underway. And the one benefit Adam Kilday has is he has a great teammate behind him there, and that is that 5 of Rick Sanchez. Expect to see those two work very well together. We'll see what Vicente Guerrero and Ryan Decker can do on the outside line. And then let's say playing spoiler could be row number 3, who can give that lane the best push. but you know you're going to see the third lane at some point. The question is going to be which drivers find a way to get up there to make the most of it. But right now, advantage goes to Adam Kilday down the backstretch here with the push from Rick Sanchez.
I know Adam's been talking to me about it. He really, really wants his first Area 51 win, but he has to go through a very hungry 48 car.
Yeah, I'm saying that's the thing is this is not an easy one to get, as we've seen. As otherwise we'd see a lot of first timers got one down the apron, but it looks like we will get to that white flag. So this is final lap of the race. Only one attempt of that green-white checker. Do these drivers have the fuel? Oh, we got trouble in the back there. They're going to come across the field. There are a couple cars involved. We still have about top 15 still in the mix here. Adam, again, just a nose ahead here, but the 48's going to have probably a good run out of turn number 2. And we'll see as they drag race down the backstretch. No third lane yet.
Look at Kevin Freeze in the back. Look at him. He is moving.
He is giving Jimmy Reynolds a big push. Oh, we got the 28 down to the apron. He's going to roll out of it just a tiny bit as we go side by side here one more time here at the moment. Adam, again, still just a nose ahead here, but will the momentum shift go to Ryan Decker? It's going to be close.
Here we go. At the line.
I think Adam got it by margins.
No.
Huge crash behind him. But I believe at the line, Adam Kilday going to get the win over Ryan Decker. They had the field to make it to the end. Let's go back real quick. We'll watch the fight between the two of them coming to the start-finish line. And then we'll try to see what happened behind all of them at the finish. Saying we'll slow things. You see the contact there. Oh, you see the 28. He tried to sneak underneath Rick there. And say again, these guys are going to go for all they have. We got to get a better angle of that one there. Let's back it up one more time. Apologies. Say I'm not a pro button pusher right now, so we'll do is we will pause it right at the line, and now we can jump around on angles. And there you go, man. It is, man. Look how close that is, man. That's like not even quite the valence width between the two of those guys. There's a good shot of it there. Just a nose. And it will be Adam Kilday getting the win over Ryan Decker there. And it looks like coming home third in all of that in the background is going to be Vicente. You can see right there in third over Rick Sanchez. Nick Wing will bring home that top 5. So what we'll do is we will pick things back up live here, see if Adam has any fuel to celebrate. He does. He's got plenty of room, fuel to celebrate there. And while he does his burnouts, we will go ahead and pull up our final results. And there you go, Matt. Adam killed by 1/1000th of a second over Ryan Decker. Vicente Guerrero there in third. Rick Sanchez, Nick Wing are top 5. And you got Gabe Butler, Jimmy Reynolds, Kevin Freeze, Dude Conrad, Jeremy Osborne are top 10 finishers. Peter DeBorgia there 11th. Eric Lurie, Jason Bogart, Zach Perry, Jack Walls, Dean Wilkinson, Andrew Schroeder, and Bud Steele. And then, unfortunately, again, some of these guys, not the evenings they were hoping for at the end there. Patrick Groover, Everett Lane, Tom Dixon still do finish on the lead lap. And unfortunately, a number of drivers there a lap or more down, especially towards the end there, catching Seth Groover, Bob Fitzgerald, Ambrose Kniebel, Jim Brooks, Carl Lingle, and then tough nights, unfortunately, for Brandon Briggs and Jacob Lee there, 27th and 28th. But new car, new season, hot track temperature. Great race there at the end, though, Matt. That was a lot of fun.
It didn't disappoint.
No, these guys were on it. As saying, and not a surprise, but yeah, that was a great job of these guys. So what we're gonna do now is we gotta chat with our drivers here, find those top 3 finishers. We're gonna kick it off with a certain Vicente Guerrero. We gotta hunt him down here. He better be here, otherwise I'm gonna give him a hard time.
I got him.
Ah, there he is. Okay, I'll let you pull him on in over here. And we'll pull up this replay as we pull in that driver of that number 14 machine. And Vince, we talked at the pre-race that we've got some drivers and everybody sponsoring some cars, or some races, I should say. First off, obviously, you're going to be doing that as well. So first off, obviously, appreciate the sponsorship for an upcoming race. And you get some extra Vince service and repair attention in that car tonight. But I got to talk to you about fuel strategy. That last what was possibly going to be the last caution there. You go a lap later. Importantly, you stay with the main pack. And were you just full fuel save at that point, and then say, okay, I'm gonna kind of crack the whip towards the end, or what was the strategy there? Because you were one of the few that pitted the second time around that actually held the main draft there, and it really seemed like some drivers were going to be tight on fuel to the end. I mean, what did you see from your point of view there?
Um, I just wanted to pit a lap later. I was hoping somebody would stay out closer to me with that extra lap, but I ended up getting some help. I don't know how many car lengths there were back, but I ended up getting some help there at that last pit. The backstretch, and they started drafting here, and my thought was, if they're coming in as a pack, a big pack, they're gonna have to. There's a lot of people that's gonna have to really slow down, and that's gonna break the pack, further apart from everybody else. So I thought maybe I could hold that lead pack if I, have a smaller group pitting in hotter, into the pit entry. So that was my thought in it, and it worked out a little bit. I mean, I held on to the lead pack. I was afraid we were gonna lose it, but it was a car up front of me that I was drafting with, and we ended up catching that lead pack, and had a little bit extra fuel, maybe a lap fresher tires. With this car, who knows, that could have played a little bit, But and then that late caution there, um, people came in and took tires, but I think the tires cooled down enough where a few laps would be okay. A couple laps here at that last restart.
Yeah, I said that was gonna be my say. Obviously, we Matt and I talked about tires because there was obviously some guys took two under green versus the four, but then even not even obviously the tires, but then I mean my question mark, like you said, was the fuel for the guys that pitted the lap earlier, the guys that were up front a lot of that section of the race, burning the most fuel. I mean, did you how much margin did you have? Did you have enough for an extra just one or two,
I
or how tight were
I
you?
had I had 5 laps to that last green white checker
Oh wow, so you
when
had
it.
plenty of fuel.
Yeah,
You were
so
I say
I
you
was
were
I
doing
was
good.
yeah, I was pretty good. And it's been a couple races I raced with Peter, and going a lap later, fuel mileage, I mean, that plays quite a bit there, and I kind of used that strategy a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you did a hell of a job. Like I said, and yeah, I'm with you there. I thought the going the lap later. I always prefer if I can pit in a smaller crowd all day, every day. I'm gonna go that route because that first group was pretty scary on the entry. Unfortunately, did catch I think one or two drivers out, which again the caution kind of brought a lot of them back in. But yeah, it was a really good race. And so then yeah, from there it's just how does the car feel compared to what you're used to with the trucks and with the Xfinity cars?
Um, this car is really tight at the end of the run. I mean, you just you gotta use throttle, like burp it. I usually just burp it going in on the entry just to wall the car down a little bit, and then on the throttle again, so it'll go through the corner. But man, on exit sometimes it'll still get tight, and you have to burp it probably on apex there just to get a better run on the off the exit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, compared to the other cars, man, this car is it's fun to drive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's fun to drive, but it gets really tight off exit.
Yeah, and definitely, yeah, say we definitely saw it catch a few drivers for that point, especially off of four. I feel like was definitely a bit of a trouble turn, but man, you did a great job tonight. Like I said, you were up front pretty much all night long. Obviously, also getting the pole there too. So I mean, starting first, finish third. That's a really good result to kick off the season. So I definitely want to give you the floor here though for any thanks and shouts for that podium tonight.
I want to thank you guys, or you. I guess Matt racing tonight.
No, he
Um,
he he wanted to test the car out, but he suffered with me in the booth tonight.
well, I
No,
want to thank you guys for broadcasting. It was we were practicing earlier tonight, and I guess my mic was muted, but I forget what I was saying. But I was on my black box, Matt, when we were practicing,
I
and
got you.
yeah. So but anyways, it was fun racing there a little bit with you, and I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. I want to thank everybody here in the Area 51 for putting on this league, having a good group of guys here, and I like racing here because it goes pretty much green all the way, And I want to thank all the racers here that participate and battle with each other here, and I want to thank esports right here, Nightmare Esports. I'm a solo driver here representing Nightmare, and I think that's it.
Yeah, so we'll keep going like that. You'll find some people to work with you either officially or unofficially. But yeah, great job though tonight, Vince, and definitely look forward to seeing you more as the season goes on, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Matt, we're gonna flip it over to our runner-up driver and say it's not a Sensi car. I don't know what to do with myself, but it's gonna be. I say first off, Matt, you got to remind me who the driver was again. We say David Green. Was that who we're going with?
Yeah. Hey, David Green.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I was. Listen, I'm from like Muhlenberg County, and Bruco Motorsports was like was from here. So like, I was trying to find like a Timberwolf car or something like that for it. So, and then I think either David or Jeff lives in Todd County, like still, like I don't know, probably like 10, 15 minutes away from here. So I was like, I got to run this paint scheme.
I mean, it's a really good looking scheme, and so you did Caitlin proud. She was cheering you on from the start to the finish there, and I mean you were right there. I mean it's one of those things where you got to put yourself in that position, and then just hopefully sometimes the brakes turn the right way. And like I said, you did everything right there, and yeah, it just didn't quite go the way. So we watched the chaos behind you guys. So I think you two are the only ones that got through clean at the start finish line there. But I mean, just take us through the race, the strategy. Obviously, you were one of those guys that did pit, I believe, at lap 48 versus going the one extra to 49. And then you were also having to push pretty hard to get back to the top three groups. So how tight were you on field? Because, I mean, Matt and I were thinking, like, this is going to be pretty scary for a few of these guys. Because I believe coming to the one to go, I think the 24 may have run out of fuel down the back. So I mean, what was your fuel looking like there at the end?
I had about 3 or 4 laps to the good as far as on that last green, well, that green white checkered whenever the caution came out. So I was feeling well. I was feeling pretty good with it. I didn't know how they were gonna play out as far as how many green white checkers we'd be in, because I didn't do any of the practice races. Like, it's the first time I've drove this car in a long time, so I was trying to learn everything and kind of see where I can push, see exactly what I could do and everything with it. But as far as fuel wise, I was feeling good about it. I mean, it sucks. Like, I think Richard and somebody else was coming to the outside on lap 56 whenever we were like 3 seconds back from Gabe and them. And like, they were pushing as hard as they could. And then like, I was afraid Adam was going to, or I think whoever was behind me, going to take the low lane. So I was like, well, I'm like, so I had to leave Jack out there dry there for a second. And I'm sorry for that, Jack, but but yeah, like once me and Eric got hooked up, getting to the front, I mean, I feel like I was pushing pretty good, getting a little hot, but trying to manage that temp there to get up to Gabe and them, and then I think I messed up on one of the pushes going in the turns. I mean, but all in all, it wasn't bad. I mean, just trying to learn this car as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I say the car looks like it was a lot of fun tonight. Matt and I were noticing the track temperature. Maybe that played a big role too, because it was a warm track tonight. It was 128 degrees. I think 129 at least at 1.2. So, I mean, do you think that plays a bit of a role in it as well, or you think just maybe it's more of the car than the track temps?
I'd say both. I mean, definitely if it's 120 something, it's you're going to be you ain't going to get as much grip as a 80 or 90 degree track tip. But yeah, I mean, it was fun to drive. You really got to watch pushing and going into the turns for me, as far as I had to back it up a little bit. There was a few times I'd kind of miss my turn a little bit. And then I think Richard had to check up one time for me, and thank God for him, checking up for me, or if not, I would have been into the wall or something. But oh no, it was fun.
Nah, so it's a hell of a job. It's obviously a great way to kick off the season as well, getting the runner up there. And obviously a long way to go in the season, just kicking off race number 1. So great job tonight, Ryan. But before we let you go, of course, as always, got to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that runner up tonight.
I'd like to thank my teammates, Nick, Bud, Jack, Jim. I mean, all them guys. if it wasn't for teammates, you ain't nothing in this league. You guys putting this broadcast on. I mean, Caitlin, for watching all the time. I mean, love her to death. And then also, if anybody would like to donate a kidney, my 3-year-old son Dixon is able to take living donors right now. So we're trying to get a kidney at Cincinnati Children's Hospital right now for him.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, no, I mean, as say if there's
Wow.
let me know what kind of info like we can get out there to see if who's able and willing. I said we've got great, obviously, like I said, with Peter DeBorgia does a lot with the Extra Life Children's Hospitals and things like that too. So, yeah, maybe we can make some magic happen, and I'm glad that he's able to be on the recipient list. Obviously, I hate that that's happening, but yeah, glad that he at least has that option though, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And listen, I'm glad y'all are doing this thing, man. All right, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. I say you guys make it easy for us to do. So, yeah, great job tonight, man. And I say definitely go give love to your family, and we look forward to chatting with you soon.
All right, appreciate it. Y'all take it easy.
Too right.
See ya.
All right,
That's right, y'all.
we got to chat
What?
with one more fella here. We caught him embarrassingly like he was trying to talk to somebody else. Say it's like he's not expecting to be interviewed, but no, Adam. I mean, hell of a job tonight. Obviously, at one point Matt and I were catching towards the end. Like he's got a really good teammate there behind him, and I mean, it was close there. Obviously, at the end, you had to work for it. I mean, take us through the charge at the end to even try to have a chance to win this one, because I mean, and also we see you turning to the right to keep that thing pointed straight in the first place. 1/1000th of a second. I mean, take us through the strategies and then just what you had to do there at the end to hang on to it.
Yeah, the caution came out at the end, and I'm like, well, shoot, this isn't good because it adds some extra laps to the race there. And I checked with Richard, and he's like, I should have enough gallon wise to make it to the end, and I sure did. So the ran out of fuel attempting to do a couple donuts, but yeah, I knew I could put my trust in Sanchez at the end there. So we've been running together as teammates for probably almost a year now, maybe over a year, but it's been a while. So
I think someone's trying to get your attention there.
yeah, what's up? Huh?
Yeah, me, your
Hey!
teammate.
Yeah, God, yeah, Wagner too, man, Wagner too. Heck yeah, bro. But no, dude, like it's like the cool thing about the coming over here is like just forming some sort of team chemistry with a guy, and it's super cool to have the opportunity to form that sort of racecraft super speedway stuff with Sanchez and carry it over to other leagues. And but yeah, super grateful for that. But yeah, no, this win is on him just as much as it is on me and everyone else who did the pushing. Was it Ryan Decker was on me for a while? He could have sent it up 3 wide and put me in the middle or whatnot, and he chose not to do that. So I appreciate that. And yeah, dude, it's about time.
Nah, it's a lot of fun. Matt and I, obviously, we talk about how we love first time winners, and I think for you it was definitely not a matter of if but when, because obviously we both know the talents you have in the super speedway side of things on the OP side of leagues or OP side of things in that league, and I'm sure other places too. So, but obviously it's always fun to a new crowd and all that too. So now it was really fun for us to see. But Matt, I don't know if you have any quizzes to give Adam here.
Well, it's kind of ironic that Richard pushed you to your first win. Richard pushed me to my first win.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it?
It sure is.
But man, you got to be excited, dude. This is pretty much one to knock off the list. I know we were talking about it yesterday after the Saturday race. He was like, "Oh man, I'll be dying to get my first Area 51 win." And guess what? We're sitting here in the booth talking to you.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the start, my confidence level wasn't really all that high with how I was driving the car. So it took a minute to get used to the inputs and the tire wear and the track temp on how much you needed to lift and how much you needed to feather the throttle to try to keep the car in a steady line, especially going in 3 and 4. It seemed like 1 and 2, I was more so all right, and 3 and 4 I was kind of struggling. But but yeah, once I kind of clicked with that in a way, um, it's yeah, we just the line started surging, and just had lucky track position at the end, I guess.
All right, so my next question is I watched Peter take right side tires on his pit stop, and his car was uh, evil, as you would say, what we were watching here. And what did you do on your pit stop? Did you take left side tires or take four tires, or what
So
went on?
I thought about the time I made a mistake at Atlanta for not taking rights or whatever it was, and I kind of told myself like the car's really washing up a lot on old tires, and I just committed to taking all fours, and
Ah,
um yeah, so it worked out. Sanchez took four as well, and I think Schroeder he said he only took lefts, and he was struggling to keep it down low in the turns, and he kind of wished he took four with us. But yeah, I think if I were to do it again, I'd probably definitely take four again here at Daytona.
I'll say don't give up too many of the secrets, obviously, but no, I mean, like you said, I think yeah, like you said, with the new car, the track, the temperatures, and all that, it definitely looked to be the right call from what we were seeing up top here too. So, man, we don't want to keep you too long. We'll let you go celebrate, enjoy it with your buddies. But before we let you do that, definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that win tonight.
Yeah, definitely another shout out to Sanchez for giving me that bump at the end. That one really did it. Um, Shout out to Decker for having a good run with me there at the end for that side by side photo finish. Heck yeah, Decker. Um, and yeah, we'll do a shout out to Area 51 admins and the guys that put this on 3 nights out of the week for the dudes. That's much appreciative. And yeah, shout out to you, Matt Wagner,
and
and
Vendetta.
yeah, Vendetta. I'm sorry, I don't know who else is interviewing me. Gael, shout out to you too, Gael. I'd pull up Discord.
You're good, man. No worries.
I'm sorry.
No. You're fine, man. Don't worry.
Right on.
Well, yeah, great job, though, man. Go enjoy this one and look forward to seeing more of you over the season.
Heck yeah, dude. You have yourself a good one too.
All right, Matt. That is our race winner in that number 85 of Adam Kilday. And yeah, I mean, I'd say a really, really fun race. 75 laps, very hot and slick Daytona track with a car that they're still kind of learning. And 2 yellows and one almost getting to the white. And saying again, it was just, I think, just a bit of an accordion with a fuel situation there at the end. And I think if not for that, probably just the 1 yellow tonight. But really, really good racing. And again, these guys are only going to get better and better with these cars. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what they have the rest of the way.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to the next one. This one really proved that um, guys are not afraid of change and adapting to a new car. And these guys did a great job here tonight. Hats off to everybody. It's great to see Gabe back here tonight. And Godspeed with Ryan Decker. And I hope he finds a donor here pretty soon. And thoughts and
Yeah.
prayers to him.
Yeah, definitely. And and that's the thing is that's why a lot of us do this too, is it's kind of escape to some extent from the real world and all that. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll be trying to share out some info to see if we can maybe find some help and attention to see if we can find maybe a match for Ryan and Caitlin's son. Yeah, like I said, great to have Gabe back. Obviously, he's been through a really, really tough time, and then of course everybody impacted by the hurricane as well. So there's always a lot going on, and that's why stuff like this is always also really just it's nice to have and nice to do because it's an escape and you get to kind of escape from real life sometimes and everything. So Yeah, like I said, we're all here for you guys. We have a really good little kind of tight knit, dysfunctional family, but when it all comes to it, we're all here to help each other when we need to. So, Matt, as always, man, love having you in the booth. Appreciate all the hard work you do on track, off the track, behind the scenes. Means a ton. And yeah, everybody watching, thank you all so much for watching, for supporting us here at Green White Checker TV. We will be on track again on Thursday night. We'll be kicking off the 10 race season with the Xfinity cars. To be determined if broadcasted. We're still working on funding, see if we're going to make that happen or not. However, if not, we will still be racing. Please come out and race. Website's area51iracing.com. However, I can tell you for sure we are good to go all 12 races here on Sunday nights with this Gen 4 Cup cars. So, as always, have a wonderful evening. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.